Beer, 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 beer. Hello everybody, welcome back to me, Mate Brewski, for another Brewski review. And today the beer that I have for you guys is by the Calabogie Brewing Company out in Calabogie and Canada, Ontario. We have their Northeast IPA, Bleep Bloop. Probably one of the funnest beer names to say. Bleep Bloop, Bleep Bloop, Bleep Bloop. Bleep Bloop. Funny name. But yes, Northeast IPA coming in at 6% alcohol by volume, 65 IBUs. Looking pretty good. You got a system status robot chilling. Yeah, he's chilling. He's chilling on the can. Beautiful can. A little purpley, bluey, really dark blues and bright yellows. Pretty cool. Good idea for thumbnails. Yeah, what do we do now? Well, we crack this bad boy open and let's see what we got. Seems to be fairly new. I don't think I've ever seen Bleep Bloop in the LCBO. Muskoka IPA glass. Oh, pour it up. East Coast. Northeast IPA, sorry. My apologies. Come on, let's get a bit of a head on there. Why not? Yeah, there we go. Looking at the beer, fairly orangey amber. Looking very similar to almost like a West Coast IPA. Little hazy, nothing too crazy though. Nice, yeah, it's not an off-white, it's a bit more of a deeper, sort of like a light sandy colored head. Looking pretty good. I'm kinda intrigued now. I'm just like, is it gonna be malty like a West Coast or what's it gonna be? Because it's a Northeast. Never heard of a Northeast IPA, but excited. Let's have a smell. Definitely doesn't come across as malty as a West Coast. A little bit more tropically. Dried mangoes, grapefruit, pine, candied burnt orange, melon, pineapple. There is a bit of malty characteristic though out of here. Somewhat of like a, I don't know if it's my mind playing tricks on me, like biscuit and slight caramel. Just a little bit. Interesting. Let's see how it transitions on the sip. Yeah, kind of similar to the West Coast, but at the same time, tropicalier. I need another sip. Fairly bitter though, fairly long-lasting bitterness, very similar to that 310 to Yakima. Not as intense, but definitely that bitterness lasts fairly long, even similar to some West Coast. But I need to revisit this and learn a bit more. So with that said, guys, cheers everybody. Let's keep on drinking. Initially, it's a bit of a mix. You're getting your biscuity, caramelly, malty notes, but you're also throwing in like a burnt orange, sort of dried mango sort of flavor. So you're getting tropical notes, but also maltier, desserty sort of notes, or desserty sort of notes that you'd get in like a West Coast, but then also IPA tropical notes. It seems to be a kind of a weird mix. Maybe that's where you get the bleep and the bloop from the name, but fairly interesting. Moderate body, but yeah, a little bit of a candied sweetness to it, to the tropical notes. Not really getting any pineapple or anything like that, but dried mangoes, burnt candied orange, and then a little bit of caramel and a slight biscuity undertone, and the lingering, long-lasting bitterness seems to be more of I just had the word on my mind and I lost it. I need another sip. Maybe it'll come back to me. It's a mixture between earthy and like hay-like and straw-like long-lasting bitterness. Yeah, sort of what's going on. Dried mangoes, candied burnt orange, light caramel, a little bit of biscuit, and either a grainy or straw sort of somewhat earthy-esque lingering bitterness. It's a little bit of a conundrum, this beer. It's a little bit of yin and yang, and I don't know how balanced it actually is, though. It's an interesting style of IPA, or sub-style of IPA. Interesting stuff. Let's see what the can has to say for itself. Calabogie Brewing Company, Northeast IPA, Bleep, Bloop. 6% alcohol by volume, 65 IBUs, not 65%. Holy. Handcrafted in the Ottawa Valley, brewed in Calabogie and Canada, Ontario. Northeast IPA, Bleep, Bloop. Juicy, hazy, tropical, brewed in small batches. Ingredients: water, sugars, which are barley, wheat, oats, and lactose. This might be where that little bit of an extra boost of sweetness is coming from. Hops and yeast. Contains barley, wheat, oats, and lactose. Very interesting. On the bottom, for a canned on date, there is something packaged 12th of May 2020. 12th of May 2020, and this is June 5th. So yes, extremely fresh beer. A few weeks old, but not a big deal at all. No one's getting upset here. Yeah, I should have thought lactose, because it is there. Maybe that's what I'm thinking is that caramel, or essence of caramel in a sense. It's strong. I have to note that bitterness is fairly intense, and it does last quite long. Something I'm not really a big fan of, but yeah, that bitterness just lingers. It lingers like an almost like, yeah, kind of like a house guest that overstays their welcome. Sort of getting those kind of vibes off that lingering bitterness. But moving on to the website, calabogiebrewing.com, you go to the beer section, you scroll down a little bit, you do find Bleep, Bloop. Again, Northeast IPA, 6% ABV, 65 IBUs, and the SRM for the color scale is 14. Type is available year-round. In cans, both locations, I guess the availability. On tap, both locations, I guess the availability. Taste profile. This beer pours a hazy, dark golden color. It has a fruity, malty aroma with floral hops and a burst of grapefruit citrus. Super juicy with the perfect balance of bitterness and tropical fruit. So, perfect balance of bitterness and tropical fruit. So yeah, they're going for that yin and yang sort of thing. For me, I think whichever one's the bitterness, the yin or the yang, or in this case, the bleep or the bloop, it's not as balanced as you may think, or at least for my palate. I'm getting, like I said, that bitterness is just, it's overstaying its welcome just a little too long on your couch. Literally not maybe a physical couch, but the taste bud couch on your tongue. Try imagining that, all the flavors hanging out on your tongue. That sounds really weird. Forget all that. Moving forward, website looks fairly good, fairly straightforward, good information, but not a ton. You get the SRMs, taste profile's pretty cool, throwing a different sort of look at things from the can. But the in cans, on tap, both locations, I guess that's availability. And time type, yeah, I guess, I don't know. The first three things, type, in cans, on tap, don't really make sense to me, but that's fine. Fairly simple website though, but still looks great. On Untapped, Bleep Bloop has been given a 3.74 bottle caps out of 5. That's out of over 1,500 ratings. So it has been around for a while, it seems. When was it first added? It do not say, but 1,500 people, over 1,500 people have had this beer and have taken the time to throw a rating on Untapped. I don't know how I feel about this beer, guys. It's good. It's a really good beer. It's just, I'm not a big fan of West Coast IPAs, and this is very West Coasty, in my opinion. At the LCBO though, if you want to pick up Bleep, Bloop, you're going to be spending $3.45 for the 473 ml tallboy can. Fairly solid price, not too expensive, definitely not on the lower end of pricing, but you are getting a solid, full flavored IPA. If you like West Coast IPAs, this is going to be a perfect contender for you. Going up against the likes of Bone Shaker or 310 Yakima. The bitterness lasts longer than Bone Shaker in my opinion, but not as long as 310 Yakima. But it does stay a little more than I would like. I don't know if you're the same as me with bitterness, but that's just sort of how it's going down. Overall, good mouthfeel, moderate body, smooth, yet nice effervescence to it. But it's just that bitterness and the multi-tropically vibes I'm getting off this flavor profile is not really working for my palate, but it is done fairly well. So I'm a little conflicted on where to put this beer on my little rating scale. Maybe I'll just have to take the final sip. So cheers on the final sip, guys. Let's get right to drinks and I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Calabogie Brewing Company, Northeast IPA. Bleep Bloop gets a solid. It's that bitterness. If it didn't last as long, it would get a better mark. But it does last fairly long, and I don't like that about this beer. I don't know. I'm debating between two numbers. I don't know if I'm feeling generous or if I'm feeling a little critical here. No, it definitely deserves a solid 7 out of 10. That bitterness does last fairly long, but it is a well done beer. It's just that bitterness, I don't know, it's going to be hit or miss for people. But yeah, I think 7 out of 10 suits this beer fairly nicely. On the presentation side of things, I do love the can. The name of it is absolutely fantastic just because Bleep Bloop is so much fun to say. Not a ton of information on here. You get your ABV, IBU, ingredients, very short and sweet blurb about it. Juicy, hazy, tropical, very short and straight to the point, but does not give you the full picture as it is fairly malty for an IPA. Definitely getting those West Coast vibes rather than Northeast. The good thing though, kind of clearly labeled package on date. You can read it. It's a little smudged, but it's not too bad. It's still fairly legible, so good stuff there. Website, looking good. Not a ton of information, but the taste profile I really do appreciate. Other than that, looking fairly stellar. Presentation gets a solid 7.5 out of 10. Before I leave you guys, if you have any comments, questions, or beers on review in the future, leave all that information down in the comment box below. If you want to go ahead and like this video or subscribe to me, Mate Bruce, they would greatly appreciate it as well. Now with all that said, that's going to do it for me, Mate Bruce. Like I always say, crack a beer and enjoy. Cheers. Now, we are going to pour the beer into the glass. This is my very poorly done robot voice.